In this free Godaddy WordPress tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install WordPress on Godaddy. Godaddy is a good option for starting a WordPress website, but there are a few things that you might find a little bit confusing, and there's probably some things that they're going to offer that you don't need. So in this tutorial, I'll go through the Godaddy WordPress hosting signup with you and help you figure out what is what and figure out exactly what you need. I'm Tim from RealWebsiteHints.com, and I've made it my mission to help people just like you find the best and easiest ways of building websites and avoiding as much frustration and confusion in the process. To make sure that we're on the same page, scroll down below this video and you'll find a link to Godaddy. This link may provide you with a discount, and it provides me with a small commission that helps me to provide free tutorials like this one on YouTube and on my website. I'm going to recommend that you choose Godaddy WordPress specific hosting. It does cost a little bit more, but it includes some things that are going to save you some time, and it's going to make your life much easier. So let's dive in and get your WordPress website started. Okay, so after you click that link to Godaddy, you'll be taken to this page right here. And if you're not taken to this page exactly right here, there may be a little menu button you'll need to press that'll be up here on the top left. Go ahead and click on that. And then to get started building our website, we need to get hosting, and we want to get WordPress hosting specifically. So to do that, we can click on the WordPress button right here, click on WordPress hosting, and then we've got these different options right here. So if you want, just keep your costs as low as possible, you can do the $3.99 plan, and that's to get the maximum benefit. You do need to sign up for 3 years, as we'll see on the next screen. Otherwise, the hosting cost jumps up to, I believe it is $6.99 if you want to do it for 1 year. So keep that in mind. Now, if you're going to be building a website where you're going to be selling online, you do need an SSL certificate. And with GoDaddy, they do charge for the SSL certificate. So it's actually a better deal to go over here and get the ultimate plan, because that will give you the SSL certificate free for the first year. You will have to pay for that after that. And then it will also give you the malware scanning and removal for the 2 sites that the ultimate plan comes with. So that's probably going to be the best deal if you want that. Since I'm just doing this tutorial and I'm just trying to keep my costs as low as possible, and you might be doing the same thing with just like a basic information website, then just go ahead and select either the basic plan or the deluxe plan. So here we've got the option to add malware scanning, but I think the better deal is to go with the ultimate plan if you need that. And again, here's the link for the SSL certificate. But I also think that it's a better deal to start out with that on the ultimate plan if you need that. So if you do think you need those things, and definitely both of those things can be very useful, go ahead and click on those, or just go ahead and choose the ultimate plan, which includes those. And then go ahead and click continue. And if you don't have a domain name yet, which you might not, you can use another registrar and then point your name to GoDaddy, or you can just sign up for a new domain name here. I do think it's easiest to sort of have your domain name at the same company that you have your web hosting with, just because then in your mind at least all of the parts of your website are all in one place. But sometimes you can get a better deal by registering your domain on another website. For this tutorial though, I'm just going to show you what I found has been the easiest way, and that is to just use the same hosting company as you have for your domain name registrar. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to save and continue, and we've got some other options. Okay, so we've got this here, and as I said before, it's definitely cheapest if you go for the 36 months. I'm just going to do 1 year. Save myself a little bit of money, but this is just for this tutorial so I can show you guys how this works. And then there might be some other options down here, but really the only thing you need is the basic managed WordPress package, and if you registered a domain like I did, the domain name here. So Office 365 email is definitely good and useful, but just keep in mind that after the first year, it's going to be $4.75 a month. So just think about whether you're ready to do that, or whether you might want to use something else like G Suite, or I also have a link to Zoho Mail where you can host your email for free on Zoho. So I personally use G Suite, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. And then one option here, which I definitely recommend doing, and that is keeping your contact information private. It's what it does is it's $7.99 for a year on GoDaddy. So what it basically does is it keeps your information private. It keeps your email address, your regular address, and your phone number out of the record of the domain registration. You might think that you don't care about that, but the real problem with it is that, unfortunately, there's a bunch of people who will try to spam you and send you just a bunch of junk mail, and it's really annoying. So definitely recommend domain name privacy. So go ahead and check that on here. And then so my total for the first year is $115.21. Yours might be less per year if you went with one of the longer terms, the 3-year terms. But of course, the total price will be more since you signed up for more hosting. Okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and click continue. Okay, and then since we're creating a new account, this is our first time using GoDaddy, we need to go and down to the bottom here and do create account. Okay, and then we need to create a username, so it's already done that for us. And then something that's really important here is to use unique passwords. And when you're first building a website, you're gonna be amazed at how many different accounts you're gonna need to sign up for in order to create your website. So I definitely recommend using unique passwords on every website you use and not easy to guess unique passwords. So I recommend using a password manager. I personally use LastPass. There's other password managers like 1Password that you might want to check out, but definitely something to keep track of all of these new accounts you're gonna be signing up for when you build your website. Really important to keep your website secure and just to keep yourself and your other accounts secure is to use unique passwords. So I've already created a password here, so I'm just going to use that. And then you can create a support pin here. And click create account. Okay, and so now what we need to do is just give our information. Now this is the information that they're going to keep private for you. It's also your billing information for creating your account. So just go ahead and fill this information out. Okay, so there we go. We've got our account set up. Domain name privacy, and managed WordPress. Just go ahead and click on managed WordPress down here. And then this is going to go ahead and get us started installing WordPress with GoDaddy. So to go ahead and do that, you click on I'm building a brand new site. So I'm building a new site, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then click on get started. And then it's the domain name that I already created. And if you don't have a domain name yet, you haven't decided on one yet, you can use this temporary domain and you can start building your site right now, but you don't necessarily have to have your domain name, and then you can add your domain name later. So I'm going to go ahead and click on next. And then depending on where you're located, if you're in the United States, you want to use North America. If you're in Europe, you probably want to use Europe. So let's go ahead and get started. And now here is already someplace where we're going to need to create another new username and password. Okay, so this is going to be the WordPress username that you want to use for your site. And you definitely want to use something unique. You don't want to use admin because that's something that's going to be commonly guessed by hackers. So just think of something unique that you might want to use. And then again, we're going to need to create a password. So I'm going to do that here with LastPass. Okay, so there we go. We've got unique username, unique passwords. I'm going to save that into LastPass for this WordPress website that I'm creating. And click on install. And it's really important that whatever you do, you remember what that password is. So write it down someplace. If you aren't using LastPass, or make sure that you've got it saved securely for LastPass, because when we log in to the back end of our WordPress website, we're going to need that password again. And it's going to be a different URL than the GoDaddy URL. So keep that in mind. It's going to be your website domain name. So in this case, it was realtestsite.com, and it's going to be /wp-admin, and that's going to be how you're going to log in to your website to start making the edits and the changes when you use WordPress. Just go ahead and wait a few minutes for WordPress to install. It does take a few minutes. And also, if you've just created a new domain name, it might take anywhere up to 12 hours or 24 hours for that domain name to fully get set up and get linked with your website. So keep that in mind if you're having troubles connecting up with your website. And so that looks like that's what's happened here, is that basically the domain name of my website isn't fully set up yet, and it's not fully propagated across the internet. So I might need to wait before I can fully start using my website and start loading things onto it. Okay, and so when WordPress is all installed, you're going to receive this email here, and it's going to show you the URL that you installed WordPress on, and it's also going to show you the link that you need to click on, or the URL that you need to go to manage and edit your WordPress website. And so for most WordPress websites, it's your URL and then /wp-admin. And the other email you're going to get is if you signed up for a domain name, you're going to get this information here that says that your domain's ready to use. And so that should be a pretty good indication that your domain's ready to use and ready to be edited. Although, keep in mind that depending on where you are, it can take a while for that domain to propagate across the internet, so it may not be ready just yet. So if you're having trouble editing your site, or you're not able to link to your site just yet to the WordPress admin area of your website, it might be because of that. So you might need to wait as much as 12 or 24 hours for that to fully propagate across the internet. So let's go ahead and start working on our site. So you can go to edit your WordPress website by going to your link /WP admin, or you can just log back into your GoDaddy account. After you logged back into your account, you can just click on realtestsitehere.com for your domain, and then we can click on Manage Hosting, and then we can click on WP admin here. And that's taking me to the realtestsite.com /WP-admin, just like it would take you to the URL that you signed up for /WP-admin. That's the key thing to remember, is the WP-admin. And so now we just need to go and do some quick configuring on our WordPress website to get it all set up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually skip their start wizard and just use sort of the standard WordPress install strategy that I've been using. It's not going to ask me for a bunch of extra things. It's just going to help me get started quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. So just click on No Thanks. Okay, so here we are on the back end of our website. So this is where all of the management of your website happens. This is the WordPress Dashboard. And one of the first things that I like to do is just get rid of any extra things that I don't need for my website. So we can start that process by looking at posts. There's usually some sort of default post, so we can just trash that because we don't need that. And plus, we don't want to have a hello world post on our website. We want to have the posts that we want to create. And the next thing we'll do is we'll go down to the pages, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to get rid of this sample page here, trash that. And then I'm going to look at the plugins here. All right, so this Akismet Anti-Spam plugin is definitely a really good plugin to have. You do need to get an API key from Automatic, and Automatic are the people behind WordPress. And you might not need this initially, but you're probably going to want to set it up fairly quickly because there are a lot of spam comments. Unfortunately, hackers and spammers know how to find WordPress websites, and one of the first things they're going to do is start just commenting on every post or every page that you put up on your website. So this is definitely something that I would highly recommend signing up for. And the instructions for doing that are right here. Now, the GoDaddy email marketing, I'm not too familiar with that, so there's lots of email marketing things. So I would look at the pricing between this and some of the other email marketing companies out there. I know that MailChimp will let you start out with email marketing for free. There's also Aweber, so you might want to look at your options there. And then this WP 101 video tutorials, it's probably got some good information about WordPress if you're new to WordPress. So we're actually pretty good here. There's nothing we really need to delete. You may want to delete the GoDaddy email marketing. That's up to you. And so the next thing we want to do is we want to go down here to Settings. And that's when I clicked on the settings, that took us to the General tab here. So you want to make sure that you've got your site title put in here. So that's whatever the name is of your business or your blog or your website. And you've got a tagline, so just a short description about what your website is all about. And then you want to make sure your email address is in here, and you want to make sure the email address is something that you actually have access to. So if you haven't set up email yet for your domain, you want to have this set to an email address that you have access to until you do set up email for your domain. And then you can choose your date format and the time format. And then if you've made any changes, like we just did, you want to make sure you click Save Changes, because if you don't click Save Changes there, well, your changes will not get saved. Okay, and then under reading here is an important setting to look for, and that is this discourage search engines from indexing your site. If you want your site to be found by search engines, you want to make sure that this is unchecked, just like it is now. I have seen some installs where for some reason it automatically sets that to discourage search engines, but if you're ready for your site to be found, you want to make sure that this is unchecked just like it is. Oh, and then one more thing while I'm thinking about it is back here under General, you want to set your time zone and make sure that that's set to the time zone for your home area. So right now I'm on the East Coast. I'm normally in the Los Angeles area, but right now I'm on the East Coast. And so for this website, we keep it set to New York time zone, but that's something important. And then again with your date and time formats there. And the last thing, and this is really super important, is the permalinks. And you want to make sure that your permalinks are set to post name. Post name is going to give your URLs to your pages what they call a pretty link. So it's going to be your website and then whatever you've named your post. So like, for example, that first post that was on there was called a sample post. And so that's what it's going to be called, a sample post. So if you make a blog post or a page, on like how to set up WordPress with GoDaddy, it's going to put in how-to-set up WordPress with GoDaddy, and it's going to put all that in there, and that's going to be one thing that's really going to help your search engine optimization. So you definitely want to make sure you do that right off the bat there, and then click on Save Changes. Okay, and then just a quick tour of some of the other things. One of the first things you're going to want to do is install a WordPress theme. I've got a tutorial on how to install one of my favorite WordPress themes for making websites super easy, and that's what I focus on, is helping you guys make websites really easy, and that's the Divi theme. So if you want to learn how to use the Divi theme and how to install it, and how to install just any WordPress theme, actually, check out the link above this video, and I'll link to how to install the Divi theme in particular, but it also will show you how to install any premium WordPress theme. It's the same process. And if you're interested in learning about the Divi theme, I really like it and enjoy it. You can check out my review of it. I'll link to that in the description below and at the end of this video, and also I'll put a link to it right up here. This is where we add a theme. When we have our site set up, and we're not using the default thing, you can use the Customize button here. This is going to be the main controls for the look of your website you're going to find here. So we've got that there, and then you can just change the different things. And this is going to change depending on your theme, so you definitely want to do this after you've installed the theme that you're going to use. And I go over this in my full course on how to make a WordPress website, but when you're building your menus, this is where you build your menus, and I'll show you guys exactly how to do that in my course. And it's a free course. I've got my full course on my website, and it's also available as a playlist series on YouTube, and I'll link to that at the end of this video, and I'll link to it also right here at the top of the screen. So that's basically it. The couple of things that you might want to look into doing is installing Jetpack, which is a plugin that's made by the creators of WordPress. And it's something that I've been sort of resisting using until recently, but I've really enjoyed using it once I got it set up. And what Jetpack does with the free version is it gives you some starter themes. I haven't checked those out. I sort of have themes that I really like, which are these page builder themes, which makes it really easy to build your website, and Divi so far is my favorite on that. But it does give you a little performance boost by having a content delivery network for images. So basically what they have is they've got specialized servers all over the world that just take the images from your site and load them a little bit closer to your users and on super fast servers, and they help you to make sure that those images are optimized well. I'm not too sure how good of a job of the optimization does, but it definitely provides a faster way for your images to load on your viewers' pages or on your viewers' browsers. So that's something you definitely want to check out. And the other thing I really like about it, especially when you're just getting started out, is that it has, is that it's got these basic site stats, and it's something that's really easy when you're starting out. It's clear and easy to understand. You can see which pages and how well your pages are performing, how well your posts are performing, and which ones are performing well. And it's one of those things that's easy to understand. Later on, you might want to start using Google Analytics, and I use Google Analytics on my website. But quite frankly, there's so many games that marketers and hackers and spammers play. I mean, they're even like spamming the results in your Google Analytics, and it just can be kind of confusing to figure out how to sort through all of that. So Google Analytics is definitely very valuable, but it's sort of more of an advanced tool. But using the site stats with the Jetpack free version, if you want to upgrade to the personal version, it gives you a couple more things like off-site backups from your hosting. So it's definitely a good service and worth checking out. And it's, the basic version is free, and it gives you, I think just the site stats itself is sort of an invaluable thing for when you're just starting out, so you can see how well your pages are performing. So there we go. That's a quick rundown of how you install WordPress on GoDaddy. If you found that helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If there's something I didn't answer, go ahead and ask me about it. And if you didn't find this valuable at all for some reason, give me a thumbs down. And if you'd let me know why, so the next time I make a tutorial like this, I can do better, I would really appreciate that. And for more tips and tricks on learning how to build great websites easily, be sure to visit my YouTube channel and visit me at realwebsitehints.com. Thanks for watching.